Well, welcome to the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And the entrance antiphon this week just calls us to be joyful right off the hop. Let the hearts that seek the Lord rejoice. Turn to the Lord and his strength. Constantly seek his face. There's a lot of hope in that particular antiphon, and again, a call to being happy and to rejoicing. And even in our doubtful experiences, it's a calling to put those doubts aside and to be happy and to rejoice in the Lord. Talking about a blind man that meets Jesus and it just calls out to him. So it starts with, it's a reading from Mark. Jesus and his disciples were leaving Jericho. Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting by the roadside. So right off the hop here, I'm engaged because Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, is sitting there. So he has a name, he's identified. And I am Marie, daughter of Rosemary, granddaughter of Marie, granddaughter of another Marie. I come from a long lineage of Maries. And so this Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, seems to me to be, calls to me right away to be, listen here, we're talking to you with this reading. So I like that the beginning. And so we're all called to be engaged with Jesus at this point. We're at the side and we can see him, and we're the beggars. We're blind. We're blind by our sin, blind always by, we're at the, we're just about there. I can just about touch him or see him, but it's still, there's this blindness that we live with, a spiritual blindness. And we don't always see the ways of God like we should. We don't always recognize God in other people like we should. And so that's the blindness that we live with daily. When he heard that it was Jesus that was here, he shouted out, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." So I think that Jesus' prayer that we often hear, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me, a sinner." And that's one of those rote prayers that we can bring into our life. And in a instance where we can't remember or can't think of a prayer off the top of our head, then that's probably one of the ones that is one of those go-to prayers. And you just repeat it, and you begin to feel the essence of God and the Spirit of God coming to you and being able to strengthen you in that moment. And people were telling him, "Be quiet, don't bother the master," as he's leaving town and going places. And he's going, should I be ashamed to call on Jesus? Should I be worried that I have this sinfulness that I want to get rid of? No, I need him. And so Bartimaeus doesn't become shameful or worried that he's calling on Jesus. He begins to just call out louder, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." We have to think about being like Bartimaeus and to call on Jesus no matter what the people around us might be thinking or what society is telling us that we should be doing. Calling on Jesus is not a bad thing. We need to have hope in that and cling to it. So Jesus stood still, which surprised me because he's often very active, but he stood still and he said, "Call him here." So first Bartimaeus is calling to Jesus, and now Jesus is calling back. And I think of all the other times in the Bible where people were called. My favorite is Samuel, when Samuel gets called. "Samuel, Samuel, here I am, Lord." I just love that. So this whole reading just brings me into all kinds of other directions in my relationship with God, and thinking about how I could call on God, and he's calling me back. Come to me. So I had to do a little research on this one, but I did find that this is kind of a baptismal, there's an imagery here for baptism, where when we throw off our old self and we become someone new. We throw off our old clothing and we have a new garment of white. Now Jesus says to him, "What do you ask of me? What do you want me to do for you?" And I thought that was amazing because I thought God knew everything he wanted to do for us. And so he doesn't force that on us. He's saying to us, Do you really want this? Do you want this for me? The same thing happens at baptism and in other, like at weddings. Are you sure? Is this what you want? Are you here to be married? Are you here for baptism? So at different points in time, Jesus is checking with us. Is this really what you want? Because it's a tough road. And our response should always be yes. Now the blind man says to Jesus, "My teacher, let me see again." It seems to me that maybe Bartimaeus could see at one time before, but he's lost that and he wants to see again. And I think about in our spiritual life how we have an up and down, an ebb and a flow, where we are very strong in our faith and then we come back and we're kind of mediocre in our faith. We miss a few Sundays at church, or we don't see that vision of God everywhere. So it's again, we want those mountaintop experiences that bring us close to Jesus often, more often. Again, when we're in a depressed state, we want to be in a happy state again, a happier state again. So immediately the man regained his sight. So he was able to have that belief in Jesus, in God and Jesus again. And he followed Jesus on the way. So that's the last straw. You go, okay, well, I can believe, but now I have to follow. And so it's not just a matter of, today I believe, but now I have to walk the path. I have to show other people what I believe. I have to see God in everyone that I meet. It happens to be the Reading for Mission Sunday, where we're called not just to be with Jesus, but to walk with him and to see God in everywhere and everyone, and to be on mission with him. So I just encourage everyone to put yourself in Bartimaeus' shoes. Call again to Jesus. Let me see again, Lord. Bring me back to your fold. Bring me back close to you so that I can walk with you and spread your love and good news.